G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. There's a swamp wallaby over there. She's at the water dish. Her name is Felicity. There she is. Very, very wary. There's some wind in the trees. And it's still here in the clearing. And swamp wallabies don't seem to have really good eyesight. So there's a couple of crimson rosellas back at the water dish, and she's still looking for the bread. And she's looking with her nose rather than her eyes. So she's got her head down at ground level, and there you go. Felicity has found the bread. I don't think Felicity's mother has been one of my hand-fed does. I think Felicity comes from sort of outside my boundaries. When my next door neighbour, the sawmiller, started selectively logging my end of his place sort of thing, his western boundary, I think Felicity was displaced and she started coming over here. She's been visiting for about a year. She was very young when she first showed up. She was very skittish, but she could see that 5 other swamp wallabies were coming up and eating out of my hand. So she decided to come into the clearing and eat bread and join the crew, but she's still very standoffish. And even though I have had a request from Phoenix Rising to put up some swamp wallabies, the swamp wallabies have been a bit scarce this past week. I think it's because we've had enough rain in the previous couple of months that there's a huge amount of grass all over the place. They don't need to come to me for treat food because they can get grass seeds anywhere. They don't need to come to me for bread, which is essentially ground up grass seeds. But yeah, Felicity's still kind of looking for her territory. So she dropped in today for a drink of water and some bread. Come on. Picking up eddies, currents of air close to the ground, with a whiff of the yeasty smell. Felicity's a funny little swamp wallaby. She's very serious about maintaining her wildness and her skittishness. But as you can see, she does enjoy a feed of bread and she knows that she's safe. dear, I moved. Yes, I did, I moved. To feed a wild swamp wallaby, you have to be prepared to sit still. Because any sudden movement is taken as a potential threat and they run away from it. Don't you? Hey, you're not silly. Hey, you're not silly. You've got to be a year and a half. Oh, sorry. Yes, I talk too loud. No, you've had too much bread. Is that it? Because they're dark, they like to go and hop into the shade. Because I'm trying to video, I like them to be in the sun. That's why the bread is in the sun. But apparently I talked too much. Is that right, dear? But you're not so scared that you won't eat a biscuit. As long as it's thrown at a decent range. And we do like to maintain the ritual of having biscuits after bread, so that the hard crunchiness of the biscuits can clean the back of the molars on the back end of the swamp wallaby's gums, so that you can't get accretions of undisturbed, mouldy, rotting bread causing infections and gum abscesses and death by septicemia. Not only is it the practice of not giving too much bread too often to anyone. Marsupial, there we go. We've cleaned our teeth. We're now going to go back and hop into the shade. Yeah, not only is it the practice of not giving too much to any one of them because they only come here for a feed, and I recognise them as individuals. They don't want to have any more than, what was that, 2 1/3 slices of bread, and then they'll have a bit of biscuit, and then that's it. They've had enough treat food. They're not silly. They're not gluttons. And therefore, if the wild animals come to where you live and they want to share your food, it's probably okay for you to share it. But you're under an obligation not to give too much to any one critter. Isn't that right, Felicity? Yes. Yes, that's right. So anyway, for those of you who've been hanging out for a bit of a view of the swamp wallabies, here we are on the 13th of February, and that's the only swamp wallaby that showed up here all day. So therefore, she's had kind of, nearly a 10-minute video. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.